Hello, artist Stephen Graham here. Today I am looking at through my new sketchbook I've been working in for some time now. It's quite a thick book, so it has a lot of pages. I am getting very nearly finished. I have about 11 pages here left. These pages I glue together. I take 3 pages and glue them together. So I use usually something like an Aleene's tacky glue that I thin down slightly, and I brush it on and make these pages like this. Now, sometimes this is not always easy on the book. This can be very bad on the book, and so sometimes I have to glue pages back in, but I try to make it so that it can open up on any page pretty easily. So I'm not completely done with this book yet. I thought of adding a cover to here, maybe some 4-letter words across here in kind of a grid. I'm not sure. This is a book. It's hard to even read what it was, but it was a book on presidential campaigns. And so this gave me some nice words for some blackout poetry in here. And when I start a book, I don't always know exactly if it's going to match to one theme, but some of these later, as the ones as I've developed more in my process, I am starting to try to make the entire book match a certain theme. And we start off here with Orko, a character from Masters of the Universe, and I think about the meanings behind these characters. He's kind of has an extremely powerful character, but he sometimes causes things to go awry. And so here I'm kind of doing some kind of silly kind of characters, kind of comic relief characters, dorky kind of characters. I have some of Mad Magazine. I love Mad Magazine. I still have a collection of some of my old Mad Magazines. So we have Alfred E. Newman here, and Don Martin, paying some a tribute to the artist Don Martin here, with one of his characters that I've copied here, the flies buzzing around him. And I am pretty much in this entire book, I am drawing my things with pencil. Then I am using a permanent marker to ink them. Then I am using Posca markers and other acrylic-based markers to paint them in, color them. And then I will use Prismacolors to add further shading and further dimensions of color. And then I will often have to come back, of course, and correct all your lines then. Sometimes I can do that with colored pencil. Sometimes I can do that back with the Sharpie again. And then the backgrounds are oftentimes colored with other types of permanent marker or alcohol-based markers. And I'm leaving some words here to have some kind of a poem or a comment that kind of goes along with the picture, or makes you think of the picture in a different way, for sure. So these are open to a lot of different interpretations as to political interpretations or meaning of these pictures, but all these characters I'm doing have a lot of meaning to me personally too. Spectacle, presidential, American campaigner. So as I said, this being a political book, it's going to give me lots of political words to focus on and change the meanings of these images. Here I have some Sergio Aragonés, another illustrator for Mad Magazine, and one of my favorite illustrators. This was his self-portrait caricature that he did that I copied here. So our words are superfluous and laissez-faire. Gru the Wanderer there, the character of Gru the Wanderer. Great barbarian, kind of warrior character. Kind of a takeoff on Conan the Barbarian. A lot of fun. So I won't focus on every page in here. Um, some of you will know some of these characters and the artist who did them, and some of you might not, yes. But I'm going to skip around here. Here we go with, I did some pages here that were, that are a complete 2-page work, and might be related to something I'm, like a show I'm watching. This one is related to a show I watched, and it's a copy of a mural that would be in the show sometimes on the side of a deli in the show, and I thought, man, I gotta do that. That would be a fun thing to try to capture. And so this one also has some things glued into here, some papers glued in, some kendama stickers stuck in here, and it says appropriations down here too, in the book, and you can read some of the other words. Can still be read through layers of meaning. I like the idea of different layers of meaning, like graffiti on a wall, and peeling back different layers. So I kind of settled into, let's do mostly like kind of like bad characters in this book, kind of villains, not always villains, but bad characters. This one says hero. So these are some Dragon Ball Z characters here. The Emperor Pilaf. His says wisdom. Emperor Pilaf did not really always have wisdom. And Majin Buu did become a hero in Dragon Ball Z, but he started out as a villain for sure. So I'm going to skip around a little bit here and show some of these full pages that I did in here, particularly Victory Friendly. This is a Mars Attacks artwork. I had fun doing this dissolving kind of artwork that I saw in some of the Mars Attacks artwork and posters. So I wanted to try to replicate that. These are really fun characters to draw, the Martians from Mars Attacks. A hilarious movie. A lot of fun. There's the little bunny from Richard Scarry. Copied this from the Richard Scarry I Am a Bunny book. Great illustrations. I love Richard Scarry's style illustrations. They're so cute, so detailed. And then I had to add Cthulhu Rising in the back there. So, Wario. Some of these you might guess the meanings of. Here's some Watchmen characters. I'm not going to read all of these. Let's go to some of those that are, yeah, here's Creep Show. This is like the Creep Show poster with the Crypt Keeper here looking in the window. Now, very scary. Stephen King. Richard Rubinstein, George Romero, of course. Some of the posters there on the boys' wall, Dawn of the Dead, The Shining, Carrie. I've changed some of these a little bit from the movie poster version of Creep Show from the real one into a little bit of my, I added the creature from the Stranger Things t-shirt that they had, this kind of dude on the front of, so I added that on the Creep Show magazine. So it's fun drawing a little ship up on the shelf. Yeah, fun one to do. Very important movie to me. Creep Show is a fun horror anthology. Another movie, Radical, Inspire, Ranks. Yes, he did. Bloodshed, filthy, vindictive, defeat. Some They Live, John Carpenter movie characters. Powerpuff Girls villains. Some Adventure Time. Love the Monarch and Killinger. Star Wars. I've done some Star Wars pages in here. Simpsons. Doctor Who pages. We have a Dalek. 1892. Dalek. And it says time threatening. Davros threatened the timeline. Okay. Sometimes they make sense, yeah. Populist. Let's see. Let's skip a few. Yeah, here's a fun one. This is this I drew, copied from a Gorillaz video. I believe the song is Aries. Great Gorillaz song, and I just paused the TV on the video and just copied this from it. But I love what it says here. The poem: tradition, permissible, nationalism, Armageddon, screaming. That has something to say. Beavis and Butthead, yeah. Some anime. Bill Cipher, chapter 34. Puppet. Landslide breaking all records. Stare into his eyes. Bill Cipher. Natasha and Boris. Boom. Dragon magazine. If you're familiar with Dragon magazine, you might remember the character of Wormy. Dungeons and Dragons. And then here's another kind of a splash page with the Earl Otis box art from the Dungeons and Dragons, probably the first edition of Dungeons and Dragons that I had back in, probably came out in 81, but there was already a 19 2 written here, and so I changed that to 1982 when I definitely probably bought this. It's a fun movie. A lot of people will know these characters. Angelica Pickles. Helga Pataki. It says, conceal, admires, never before, no chance. Some jokers. Hitchhikers, Bogon, Administration, Zaphod. Some of these you might could debate whether they're a bad guy or good guy, but Lost Boys. There's David, Fear, and old Nosferatu. Or is it Don Nosferatu? Don Nosferatu. Halo. Wort. Telosian and a Gorn, Star Trek. Had fun doing that sequin shirt. Some real monsters. The Grumble and Ickis. This one says, Nixon slush fund chortled communist withdrawal. Opponent failed. That seems to be about something. Love those high heels. Yep. Grumble. So fashionable. Yes. And Crumb and Oblina. More real monsters. Blinding immortal spotlights. Alan Tudyk characters. Yellow Boo Boo. Diner. Profanity. Pazuzu and Labubu. K-pop Demon Hunter characters. Derpy Cat. Kids love Derpy Cat. This one says riots elsewhere. Recklessness, ignorant, extremist, devoted magistrate. Some bad guys who wear red. Some bad people named Deville. Well, the robot devil from Futurama. And Cruella Deville. Savagely attacked. Pinky and the Brain. Correspondence irked, busily at work. Who's he? Inability, militant hippies. The Blockheads. Blockheads, blockheads, blockheads. Some Stranger Things. And America Congressman. Michael Myers. What are you doing? Foreign oil. She killed more people than smallpox. There is Cell from Dragon Ball Z. And Stripe. The gremlin. Well, just a few pages to go, and I will be glad to be done with this book. Think of a few more characters to draw. Let me know if you have any ideas.